Good morning, students. We are going to start our computer science class from today. So, the subject code is 402 Information Technology. We all know that our syllabus have been classified into two different parts. First one is employability skills and the second one is vocational skills. Employability skills contains the communication skills which is necessary for the operating of our computer and for the career opportunity. So it contains the following types of communication, feedback in communication, effective communication, basic writing skills, parts of sentences and speech, construction of paragraph. Let us get into the topic. Types of communication. There are four different types of communication. The first one is verbal communication, which is of oral speech, oral words, which includes speech, words, etc. The second one is non-verbal communication, which includes the gestures, body movements, and the body languages. Okay. The third one is written communication. So, written communication includes the handwritten copies, which is the answer sheet you presented during the examination. The final one is visual communication. As the name suggests, visual communication includes logos, maps, and charts. The first one have some disadvantages and the advantages. All the other type also has the advantages as well as the disadvantages. Let us get into the verbal communication advantages. It is straightforward and in the speedy form. Straightforward in sense the message you convey will be not needed to be lagging. So the words you are producing will be straightforward to the receiver. The next one is speedy form. Speedy form includes the spontaneity of your presentation. So your conversation will be spontaneous in the verbal communication. The next advantage is instant feedback. You will be getting immediate feedback from the receiver. Okay. We need not to wait long for it. Okay. The next one is disadvantages. It is not possible to keep the records. So the verbal communication includes words. So all the records will be, it is not possible to keep all the records. There are some emotional barriers too. So emotional barriers in sense, if a speaker is tired, he cannot say enthusiastic or a happy news to the audience in a enthusiastic way. So emotion is also a barrier in the verbal communication. Next one is non-verbal communication. So non-verbal communication includes the actions, the symbols, the signs you make. It is much demonstrative because the sign, when we have gathered in a place, when someone shakes his hand or nod his head, by shaking his hands and clapping their hands, they will draw the attention of others. So it is much demonstrative than to shout, listen to me, like such. Okay, the next one is language barrier. If a speaker knows another language than the receiver does not knows that language, Here comes a language barrier. In this time, the speaker can use sign languages for demonstrating his ideas, for expressing his thoughts. Also, the next one is it is very fast in its reach. Okay, so the way we orally represent something or writing something will needs a time to reach the audience, but here the action will steadfastly reaches the receiver. The next one is disadvantages. It is not possible for the lengthy messages. So lengthy messages in sense a paragraph or a piece of essay will take a time to reach the audience through the actions. A short messages can be possible. Next one is chances of misinterpret. So misinterpret in sense to the receiver may not receives the signs. That is, some actions may not be reached properly. Example, shaking of heads is a positive sign as well as negative symbol also. Whether you understand or not will not be accepted through the shaking of heads. So there may be a chances of misinterpret. Next one is written communication. The advantages include permanent storage. So whenever we write a concept into a piece of paper, we store it in a permanently. So it is possible for the written communication. The next one is reusable. Here we can reuse the messages we have stored already. Okay. The next one is sincerity. So sincerity includes the format we are writing for the content. So for example, if we are writing an essay in a paper, we will follow margins, a tab space before starting a paragraph, a single space between each words. These sincerities will be followed when we produce our message into a written format. Okay. The next disadvantage is it is costly in its production, that is the storage as well as writing a message into a paper in a paper will includes a much cost. Also, it is a time consuming one. But it takes half an hour to write a paragraph, but it needs only 5 to 10 minutes to say it orally. So, we call it as a time consuming one. The next one is language barrier. When the speaker or the receiver does not know the language in which the message is being written, creates a language barrier here. Okay. Next one, visual communication. We know that visual communication means on seeing we get to know the concept or ideas. There comes a proverb, picture is worth 1,000 words. Whenever we see a picture, we gain some knowledge from it. We need not to explain from that. So here visual plays a major role. It also breaks the barrier of qualification. The disadvantage here is it is a time consuming one because whatever we are drawing, that is the logos, charts or maps we are drawing here, needs a time to accept by everyone. So it is a time consuming one. and it is not a complete one. For example, you may come across zebra crossing, then school zone symbol, hospital zone symbol. We may see that and we get to know only there is a hospital nearer, there is a school nearer, but we do not get a knowledge that we should go slow or we should take a pace there, right? Because it is not a complete one. We have to take or decide whether to go slow or to go fast, since the students, the patients may be walking over there. Okay, the next one is it is a form of communication. Okay, the next one is expensive. It is much expensive than the other because everyone cannot draw a image and accept it as a logo. The designer, a concerned designer, have to draw that, and then it should be approved by the authority, and then finally this will be taken as a logo by everyone. So it is a quite expensive communication. Let us go into the next topic, feedback in communication. So feedback in communication includes the elements of communication, various forms of feedback, characteristics, types of feedback. Elements of communication. We have learnt in the earlier line standard syllabus that sender, message, information, encoding, channel, decoding, feedback. These are the elements of communication. So the sender will send the information from the sender side. Message is the raw form of data which is to be transmitted. For example, if Apple is the message, the sender wants to send this message of Apple to the receiver in a secret manner. He will convert the original message into another form, and then he will pass the message through the channel. So the channel will act as a medium of transmitting the message. In the classroom, a class teacher will be saying something and the students will listen to it. The message transmits through the air. So here the air is the medium. Okay, when you talk through the telephone, a optical cable or the cable wires will act as a medium. When you talk through mobile phone, the signals, okay, the analog or digital signals act as a medium. Whenever there follows encoding scheme on the sender side, there will be a decoding scheme on the receiver end. So decoding will convert the secret message into its original form. For example, in encoding, Apple could be rewritten as using alphanumeric values for A1, P16 and another P16 and L12 and E5. What is this? So A will be assigned 1, B will be assigned 2, C will be assigned 3 and goes on. So the P will get its alphanumeric value as 16. So the Apple message will be converted into its alphanumeric value and is being transmitted. The receiver will capture this message and he will convert it to the original form. 1 as a A, 16 as a P, another 16 as a P, and L as a 12 as a L, 5 as a E. Okay, so these are decoding format. Feedback is something which the receiver pass to the sender about the message he receives, the value of the receiving. Okay, so let us see about feedback. There are different forms of feedback. First one is smile, second one is questioning or clarification, third one is thank you note, and the fourth one is clapping. So smile includes a positive sign of gratitude. When the teacher enters the class and smile at you, you will give, when you smile them back, the teacher will get a positive energy, feeling that students are attentive, they are fresh enough to listen the class. The next one is questioning or clarification. So, questioning or clarification includes the attentiveness of the student inside the classroom. So, questioning, the students may raise questions and clarify their doubts regarding their doubts in the classroom aspect. Next one is thank you note. It is a feel of fulfillment the students gained from the teacher. They will be saying thank you using some words. Thank you, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Some form of words which will be so more energetic to produce it in a way of appreciation. The next one is clapping. A clapping is a full contentment satisfied feedback to the speaker. So once someone claps, he or she will unknowingly appreciate to the fulfillment of the speaker. The next one is types of feedback. Feedback is of three different types. First one is formal and informal. Formal feedback includes when we are giving our feedback in a procedural method. So writing like a format or structure using the receiver frame of feedback, it is known as formal feedback. For example, congratulations on scoring A plus in your final test performance, you are promoted to the next class. This is a formal feedback. Informal feedback will give only the appreciation, good job, congratulations, that's all. Okay, so a formal feedback includes for what you are being appreciated, by which way you impress the speaker, receiver, all these things. Then next one is descriptive and non-descriptive. Descriptive feedback provides a meaningful information in a detailed expressive manner. Okay, for example, all the paragraphs that covers one idea, only one paragraph was without specification. So just modify that. Like these words will create a feedback which is so descriptive, where we need clarification have to be mentioned. So non-descriptive feedback will explain, I like your second paragraph, you can change some other thing, others needed improvement. These words will create a non-descriptive feedback which will create a insoluble, that is where we cannot identify where I have to change. Okay, similarly the next one is specific feedback and non-specific feedback. Specific feedback talks about a thing or point particularly without taking a general overview. A non-specific feedback will tells entire thing and gives a general overview. Non-specific will give a general overview. So next one is effective communication. Effective communication is one where both the parties participate in the communication in a formal manner, constructive way. So whether the receiver is also satisfied as well as the sender is also satisfied by their communication. This is called as effective communication. Let us move into the principles. The principles includes, here the clarity is the first one. The message should be easily and in the easily understandable language. It should not contain much hypothetical words which a students cannot understand or the listener cannot understand. It should be under the easily understandable language. Then next one is attention. The receiver should be fully attentive in the communication process. Okay, the communication should be in that manner so that the receiver have to be attentive. Third one is consistency. So the communication should be consistent from the starting till the end. So in between, lagging should not be there. The next one is adequacy. So the information communicated should be adequate, should be complete in the all aspects. So incomplete information should not be given. Timeliness. So when the given time is being allotted to speaker, he or she should complete the message within the time. That is timeliness. And next one is feedback. Feedback we have learnt earlier. A receiver should gives a confirmation feedback from the recipient whether he have understood or not. Next one is economy. It should be up to the optimal cost. The fixed budget should hold the message we are producing. Okay, these are the principles. Next one is 7 C's of effective communication. 7 C's. So first C refers to the control. So you must have a control about your body language, pace and your tone when you provide a communication speech. The next one is conversational. We should try to involve the other person. We should not give a deep lecture which makes the opponent to get over emotional or feeling so angry or feeling so irritated. It should be a converse manner. The third C is confident. So confident includes the other persons also. The when you speak your thought in a confident way, the other person will definitely get stiff to you, stick up to you, and whatever you speak, whatever the meaningful gestures you give, the eye contact, everything they will listen and get impressed by your way of speaking. The next one is competent. We have to up, listen the listener based on their responses and their languages. So we have to adjust our speaking. When a speaker talks in front of the classroom and he feels, when the listener seems to be feel boring, she or he, the speaker, had to modify their way of talking so that it will be useful for the listener. The next one is calm. If you stay calm for when a conversation becomes agitation, your point will be a valid one. So you can put forth your point in order to gain your attention. Okay. The next C is clear. Clear refers to a message in which you are producing should be clear. So stating clear message is the sixth C here. And next, last and final is concise. Concise, you all know the meaning that it should be short enough, because we should not waste the valuable time of the listener. Whatever we need to say should be of short and precise, but it should reach the listener. Okay, the next one is barriers of effective communication. So what is a barrier? The obstacles that is being created. So the obstacles may arise between the speakings. So these includes lingual factors, environmental factor, past experience, cultural influence, prejudice, feelings and personal factors. Lingual factors. So language becomes a barrier here. If a Spanish man wants only speaks and understands Spanish, would not be able to interact with the Indian woman or Indian man, right? So lingual refers to the language. Okay, the next one is environmental factor. It is a physical distractions. If your surrounding is not supporting your proper communication, it becomes a barrier. The next one is past experience. It is a psychological factor. Our experience, sometimes the all previous experiences will makes us to degrade in our communication. Okay, cultural influences. So our cultural differences hinders the communication, hinders in sense stops. Okay, so this also comes and relates with the lingual factors. Prejudice. Prejudice refers to the relationship with the teachers and the students. A friendly relationship will makes a proper communication. The next one is feelings. We can all well relate to this. So the feelings becomes when we are so much uh, angry, or when we feel so shy, we cannot put our words in our mouth, and we cannot put our valuable or valid point to the listener. So here the feelings plays a big role here. The last one is personal factors. So this depends upon even different to from person to person. So confidence level, then communication difficulty, then health issues, all these personal factors comes under this topic. Okay, so thank you.